Okay, we're back again. I believe last time I said I wanted to get this this cursor working, going left and right, so that it would appear wherever the cursor actually is. I don't think this is my top priority at the moment, actually. Since the box works, I actually want to get the link between the box and the record button working. I think that's more important to me than getting this visual indicator working. Oh, we can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. And I think I'm gonna, for now, get rid of the line entirely. I think for now I just don't want to see it. It's kind of distracting. And I think I want the position to be when you enter the region. I think I want the position to be at the end. So if I click there and start backspacing, yeah, and then I can go temp.wav, slam that record button. Okay, I mentioned a couple of times having some buttons here to like lock in the selection. I think that'd be a good idea, but I'm not sure I want to do that right now. Let's just say that if the region goes inactive, yeah, if the region goes inactive, we want to update. Yeah, we want to update. Okay, we can do that. We can start with that. Yeah, how do we free? No, that'll come later. The freeing interface will come later. So let's put that somewhere here, even though this is probably not the place to do it. Freeing the text, question mark. And what I want to know is if the active state changed. This probably shouldn't be you know what? If it's the audio console, maybe it should... Well, no, it should actually go in an array, but we can do that later. Okay. Let's go... Deactivated? No, we'll just go active. It's fine. And so we'll go active equals TI active. And then we want to say if active and not TI active, then we want to then we want to redo all the this link, which doesn't exist yet, but we want to redo that. Oh no, this link exists. No, this will actually start recording and that'll stop recording. But these two aren't linked, so we want to get that working. So let's, I guess it'd be nice to have like a command-based architecture here where we could send a command to the other thread. I don't know if that's necessarily what we want. Let's take a look at how things are done currently. I believe it's all tied up in the one initialization for inputs. It does outputs as well, from what I recall. So there's the audio thread. Right, because we're actually changing... we're not really changing the input. I think we should probably set up the input again. We might have to redo this later, but for now I think we're going to reset it up. And the URL, yeah. Probe for audio devices. That's not really what we want to do. Is this where we set up? Yeah, this is where we set it up. Right, this is where we pipe the... Okay, we can actually just redo that. You know, I think I want to start without any of this. Let's start without that. Now to set up a new output device, is this going to be a race condition? Yes. Is this pipe audio? This is pipe audio. What am I looking for though? I'm looking for process audio input. So in process audio input, we grab the input, then we send it to the output. This check, yeah, this is definitely... Do I make this a mutex? That would be kind of lame. The options are we either tear down the entire input, we kill that thread entirely, and just reset it back up with its new parameters, which honestly is, it's not like a terrible option. Okay, so here's how I'm imagining it works. So you have your recording, it's going along, and then you want to change something. Maybe you click in here and it's time to edit. Bam, stops recording, thread gets killed. Now you have to change things. But yeah, I think I mentioned last time, it'd be good to be able to mess... It might be convenient to be able to mess with where outputs are going independently without having to shut down your entire input. That will require changing valid to a mutex, basically, so that we can never get in here and do all this when we're trying to kill the valid output. Why am I against a mutex? Just because I don't like adding them. They're kind of annoying. And they're slowish, but how slow are they? Like, I don't know how fast our processing is and how tight it needs to be. We'll probably have to measure that at some point. But that point is not now. I think I'm just going to change this to be a mutex. Is this it? I think it's a nit. Yeah, it's a nit. Yeah, so there's lock. Man p thread mutex lock. But Mutexes remember the thread that locked it. I don't think another thread can unlock a mutex that it didn't lock, which I think is fine. Whoops. Oh. The recursion count on the mutex? What is this, a semaphore? Okay. The value specified by mutex is invalid. I don't know what happens if you try to use the mutex after you've already destroyed it. Alright, let's just add it. We'll just add it in. If performance is a problem, we may have to re-architect this, but I certainly don't think we're in a hole yet that we can't get out of. So let's edit state. We've already got pthread. We're not going to worry about inputs yet. These can kind of be considered separate. pthread mutex t. This is just a mutex. And we want to make sure we initialize and deinitialize it appropriately. Not there. Right, so here we want to first grab the mutex. So we want to go pthread mutex lock. The question is, can we deadlock here? And if we do deadlock here, what happens to the other thread? Well, not deadlock, that's not the... But if we have another thread waiting on this mutex, what happens? I think if we just get an error... Yeah, if we get an error returned, we're just going to continue on and assume that output's not valid. Which I think is a fine strategy. If we display the visual... display the UI for an audio output that's invalid for like a frame before it disappears, I think that's okay. I can live with that. So, yep, we'll lock this. What can set valid to false? Because before I was kind of using valid as a mutex and just relying on the fact that there was no situation where we needed to worry about a race condition. So it might be time to get rid of valid. Yeah, because that's kind of what this is doing, sort of. So this sets it to 1. This just means it's been initialized. Do we need to do this? I think we do. Especially... is that true? Also, during deinitialization, we need to make sure, because it's not a linked list, it's just an array. So if we kill one of them, where does that happen? And outs. Yeah, here we go. Pipe audio. Yeah, it makes another one. This is freeing. Okay, this is a... If we ever have 2 threads doing this is a race condition. But we know that because the audio input thread doesn't have a lock. So that's fine. Yeah. To do... No, like we don't need it right now. And it's obviously not something I'm forgetting about. So we won't bother with the comment. The valid thing is interesting. Is that, yeah, so there can be a case, not right now, but in the future of the UI, there can be a case where we need to fiddle around. So we will need a mutex on audio inputs. That case is when we have the button I keep talking about. Oh, I'm not done yet. What do you want? Expected statement. Yeah, fair enough. There's your statement. So over here, I want to kind of lock in a lock-in button to lock in our selection, but I also want to delete it. And if we hit that delete button, then we need to make sure we need to then change the inner workings of the audio input structure to remove that output. And that will be happening on the UI thread because that button's going to be on the UI thread. Whereas the processing for this meter and the record button will be happening on another thread. So we'll need to lock the audio inputs. I do really prefer message passing as a parallelism paradigm, but we're not really at the point where that's my biggest concern. So we'll deal with this. Okay,